Good evening to everyone. Call the June 3rd City of Mount Vernon Council meeting to order. There's a few items, if everybody is updated on their emails, we're gonna have a few items tabled that will remain tabled, both ordinance F1 and F2, and then old business I1. So when we get to those items, we'll need a motion to table those, but otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to that effect with those three changes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, communications. Is there anybody that would like to address the council? Mr. Delancey, please come forward, sir.
What do we get, 10 minutes?
Two. I thought.
Today, about
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Jay Delancey, 509 Scobie Road, Northwest, Mount Vernon. I haven't been here for a while, it's my own fault, I've been busy. But since there's two of you that are new here, I brought this up in front of these guys before. I heard that there's a possibility of tearing down the old fire station and possibly putting a new police station up. I'm not a big fan of that. I think a new police station really should go out by the roundabout somewhere, be close to the fire station, so all our emergency stuff's in this general area, and they could work together whenever there is a major catastrophe or something along that line. So what I brought up, I don't really know how to write it up. I've been asked to write it up, but I'm trying to put this in some of people's ears, and maybe you two ladies here might even have an idea. I thought the fire station should be turned into a Legion post, a VFW, Sons of American Legion, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Lions Club, all those entities share that building. And I think it'd be a shame to tear it down. I admit it's not a beautiful building, but we can make it better looking with a facelift. And what an ideal spot for having your Chalk the Walk, July 4th nitty gritty, the night thing at Christmas, the chocolate walk, having these groups, whenever they take turns or whoever wants to do it, can have fundraisers there too, say a chili supper, something along that line, pancake supper. So use that building. But also I wanted the building to be used as a recycle type center, as a fundraiser for anything that maybe the taxpayer can't pay for, or improve somebody with a medical problem here in town or a veteran, and have can drives and all that stuff. Now last year of 2018, the Sons of American Legion, we actually almost raised $3,200, and I think that's pretty damn good for only 3 guys really doing it. But unfortunately prices are down this year, our goals were set high, and I don't think we'll probably be doing about the same and stuff. So I always thought that would be a good idea too, trying to get this town, because Mount Vernon, from what I always understand, likes bragging about having the curbside recycling. So let's be the first city, small town, in Iowa to cut down our tonnage going to the landfill. So if we could get people educated in the next 5 to 7, 8 years to not throw their nails, their bolts, their used lawn chairs, their pots and pans in the garbage, and start using a purpose for it and making money to help somebody in the long run. And you know, there are people that need help even with food, because when I started doing this recycling, I was helping Missy Hauser down at the elementary with families in need right off the bat, because I figured it'd be good karma, and I think it has turned out being good karma. But now that I've educated a lot of people in town the last 2 years, I haven't had to get involved in that, because she has enough families here in this town now that have stepped up to the plate and are giving and adopting families, which is a great thing, as far as I'm concerned. And so that was my big thing, is why is this building, it's not a piece of crap. It can be fixed, and it can be fixed up. I just thought, you know, we'd do a facelift, make it look older to match, blend in with the other buildings. And then you got them big overhead doors, you can open them up, like I said, and have fundraisers there during entertainment or events we have going on in this town and stuff. But I don't really know how you really, it's gonna have to be, the village is gonna have to get involved. Everybody's gotta be involved. And I figured if we had that many people involved, those groups, that hopefully there's always somebody in the group that could fix the door handle, fix the toilet, fix the water heater, fix the leaky roof out of one of those groups. So there wouldn't be a lot of overhead. You get what I'm saying? I'm hoping that will happen. And then I figured if we do it right and do a good example, I really think people will leave money for it, you know, that are deceased, and they'll leave it in their will. I mean, look what these guys did with that wellness center. Why wouldn't there be some other people that would think, especially people that got a military background or retired? And Mount Vernon does have a lot of history, even with the service through Cornell College. And I think it's a shame that those old fire lockers in there would make great history booths. You know, you put stuff in there from somebody that served in the Navy or Air Force, or you put something in there about the police department or the fire department, or somebody that grew up in this town and made people's life better. Because I was told the lady that invented Goodwill was from Cornell. I don't know if that rumor's true, but if it is, that's a good cause. And do that type, and have it as a history type building. I don't really want to call it a community building, but I guess that is what you would call it. And then have everybody share that, and then use it as an educational thing too. Have, you know, field trips from the younger kids come up and look at the old firemen, police, military, and stuff along that way. And then see, even put old photos of our city, how it's evolved and changed. Especially now that we're getting that bypass, because Jamie's totally right. We're going to change in the next 20 years like crazy. People better get used to it, and this town's going to get bigger. So I think that's pretty much all I got. I did forget to tell Matt to cover his ears. I'm sorry, Matt. So that was for the 3200. He didn't like hearing about that one time. So
That's all right. Anything else there?
But that's what I got. You two girls are new to this.
Thank you.
Maybe you got an idea how to approach it and make it happen. And I think it would be a good square building and a good location.
So Jay, before you walk away, thanks for sharing the suggestion.
That's a good suggestion.
So I think, you know, on your thought on these groups sharing, I'm just curious to know, have you given any thought to like how that would be managed? Who would actually
I hope Joe can do
manage
it,
the
actually.
facility?
Add it to his plate.
This plate's already
Yeah,
extremely
I know, but
Yeah.
I don't really know,
And
but
I guess-
with everybody being electronic savvy, I'm very bad with, I am not an electronic geek at all. I'm very stupid when it comes to, but there's so many people that know how to do Facebook and these pages now. Why couldn't you get out to all those people and talk to them and see if you could? But that's what I'm saying. I heard the Scouts had to move their pancake supper down to the Methodist Church, and from what I've heard, it kind of turned out to a flop because a lot of people were expecting it to be up here after Memorial Weekend and all that stuff. So, and you kind of make that a tradition, you get what I mean, a spot.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know, but I just thought it'd be a good idea if you could get all them groups to share it. Because they all could use it as fundraisers during the winter months and have chili suppers, chicken noodle supper, grilled cheese, you know, whatever as a fundraiser if they need to raise some money for a project or for somebody in need. That's how I look at it. I just look at it as a big square warehouse, but with a nice face on it, with open door. I would really like to see it decorated as an antique type looking building in the front at least, have maybe a mural painted on the side of it. And I'd like us to put some type of either police, fire, and maybe military, what would you call it, like a statue
Jay,
out front.
one of the things that since you've been gone, we missed, it'd be about $250,000 to get that building to a serviceable state. So that's,
That's
it,
the big thing.
we
What's
can,
the major problem with it?
well, the back half is falling off.
Yeah.
So that can't be anchored down with,
It can with $250,000.
but see, if we
That's
did
the
something
problem.
like this, you think we could possibly get
No.
a company to volunteer?
I don't.
I doubt it.
I mean,
You don't think so?
Well, here's,
There's a lot of people that back up military people.
I'm not disputing that we couldn't find people to help. What I'm disputing is that the value that building brings by putting $250,000 into it would do the things that you're thinking it would do. First of all, you threw 3 incredibly disparate ideas at us, right? All these groups sharing it, recycling center history thing, right? That's a lot for one building that needs $250,000 work. So I appreciate the passion that you bring to it. I gotta be honest, it's not gonna happen. It just, that
Well, if I win the
building.
lottery, it'll happen.
If you win the
If you actually be selling it, it's gonna be really
everything I
cheap.
just said,
That'd be
but I just, I
Knock
don't.
yourself out. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
with the amount of money and work it would take to not only get it to just a serviceable, the reason they had to move the pancake breakfast is Because there's no electricity
Mhm.
and no running water. I mean, it just, you can't run.
Well, it doesn't
stuff
get
there.
used right now, so it's like a car that never gets started in the garage, it ain't.
Well, it's a car that's never gets started in the garage and the back half is disconnected from the front half. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it doesn't get used. So, again, I appreciate the passion you have brought to this over the last couple of years, but that's the reality of that building. So, unless something drastic
So what's it gonna cost if we
changes,
take it down, what's it gonna cost us?
a lot less than $250,000 to take it down.
So I do want to give credence to the ideas that you brought in front of us, because I do think that those items within this community are very valued and could be valuable. I think we need to maybe think about an alternative way to accomplish them, and maybe it's in pieces. But I think we should not lose sight that there are other things that as a community we can do to better the totality of the community. And you're right, that having available public space for those service groups and the people who are trying to do good things for the entire community, I think we do miss that opportunity here in the current state of that former fire station. But maybe there's something else that we should purpose instead. So I think it's good food for thought for all of us.
So, who had the building looked at? I mean, the city did, and that's what they estimated.
Our engineer.
So, can I get a hold of some contractors and have them come look at it and see what they think?
You need to talk with Chris.
Yeah, let's talk about
Alright.
that.
Because I really don't see why a cement retaining wall couldn't be built behind it if that's the big worry.
And thank God that I'm no engineer, but I trust them when they tell me something.
Because that didn't cost that much to build that cement wall, but I know a few of them guys, so.
All right, anybody else? Thanks, Jay.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks,
Keep
Jay.
moving on. All right, move on to the consent agenda, approval of council minutes, May 20th, 2019.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I was just gonna be
Carries. Next item is public hearing on the adoption of plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate cost for the security package at the Lester Burge Family Community Wellness Center project. I'll now open the public hearing. No one coming forward, close the public hearing. And we'll move on to Resolution 6/3/2019A, adopting plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of the cost of security package at the Lester Burge Family Community Wellness Center. I know Chris has sent out information, this is something that we've talked about as well. Sue, anything you want to add, or if anybody
No, I have nothing to add.
has any questions, but again, this has been covered.
I move approval of resolution 6-3-2019A, adopting the plan specs and form of contract and estimate for cost for the security package at the wellness center.
I second.
Any comments? No comments? Roll call, please, Sue.
Rose,
Yes.
Weisler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Furman,
Yes.
Ronnebush.
Yes. All right, now we're up to the ordinance approval amendments. Get a motion to table ordinance 4/5/2019A, 4/15/2019A.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Obviously, next, ordinance 5/6/2019A, motion to table.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll keep the motions going here. Motion to table for old business, discussion, consideration of change order number 18.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're not too fast for you, Sue?
You're
Okay.
fast, that's for sure.
That was the most political answer given in this room in a long time, I'll be honest.
You gave me 30 minutes, so I'm trying to hold the line here. All right, next item is motion for approval, consideration of claims list. Anybody have anything?
I move approval of the claims list as presented with the addition of the image list tonight.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and consideration of change order number 19.
Am I reading this right, that this is a credit back to us
Yeah.
of $820? Like,
Two
there's
of
two of them,
them.
right?
There's
Yeah,
two.
that's
Like
okay.
those.
Yep.
I'm no accountant, I was like, all right, I wanna make sure that this is what I'm thinking it is.
Yep,
So
yep.
let's approve this quick.
Maybe we should let Eric do the next couple. In all seriousness, is that a motion, sir?
Yeah, I would move approval of change order number 19, a credit in the amount of $820.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and consideration of change order number 20. This also is a credit.
I just told him it was a bigger one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
triple digit.
Make a motion that we approve the change order number 20.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I would like to ask something though. Is it normal that you get charged an admin fee on a credit? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, I
Is that,
noticed
is that what
all
that,
over
And the other one did too.
Yep,
Yeah, that's-
unfortunately it is.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar enough
Project
with these.
management.
Mhm.
yeah, that 100, that 2 for
Uh-huh.
100 feet.
Yep,
Yeah.
That's what he was
every
That's
talking
what
about.
they do all the
before.
time, and
Yeah.
all change orders, they nail it.
no matter what.
Oh. So it's,
Lump them together.
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
they're wonderful that way.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and consideration of change order number 21.
What is a 2% bond? What is that? On the breakdown, it says 2% bond, other expense. What does that mean?
From Spot United Fire?
40
Who's carrying,
or 48?
I think that's who's carrying it.
And you charge a bond, like a percentage or something?
But-
Yeah, that one got me. When I saw that, I go,
Yeah, that
what is that?
Sue, do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know what that is, but,
I mean, it's $48, but still,
Right.
what is it?
Yeah, I don't know either. Obviously not enough to hold anything up.
Yeah, but it would be worth
What it is all about? Maybe it has to do with some type of paperwork that they have to file with the.
Yeah.
That would be something to look into, just so I know what it is.
sure.
I don't have a clue.
Maybe Chris can just send an email tomorrow or.
For sure.
Otherwise entertain them.
With that, I would move approval of change order number 21 for the Lester Birch Family Community Wellness Center in the total of $2,455.13.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and consideration of change order number 22. This is in reference to the climbing wall that we discussed just a few council meetings ago. Matthew, anything that needs to be added to this?
Nothing to add.
So even though we already approved it up to 18, we're now just approving the actual number? Is that all that's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one also has the one.
Yeah, this one has that bond, and this is 262.
I move to approve change order 22. I would like Chris to clarify that, but I'm assuming that because he didn't question it,
Yeah.
there's a good reason for it.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and consideration of pay application number 6. That's another little grab our attention. Yeah. Sue, anything to add or any?
No.
I know this is just normal.
Assuming this is part of the process, the next step, and the next payment, and so on, so,
Exactly.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna make a motion to approve pay application number 6 on the LDF CRC.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I
Some force, Matthew?
May I approach?
Yes, please.
I just texted Chris the bond.
Okay.
They have to pay to change the bond amount to cover the additional costs. It's a standard that they do.
Say that again.
They have to pay to change the bond amount to cover the additional costs. Or deductions, I guess. I'm not sure.
They as in we, or they as in the construction people? Well, we're paying it. so
Yeah.
yes.
But they have to pay to change the bond amount to cover the additional costs. That's all
I
right.
don't know if they have to pay it and then they recoup
Then
it
they
from
just
us.
basically send it back to us.
You must.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right.
It's a score.
Huh?
It's a score.
6-0.
Yeah.
These are good.
Ouch.
Number 2 in the state, right?
Sorry, just tried to give you.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
good. Thank you. All right, next item, discussion and consideration of pay application number 1, 2019 wastewater treatment plant improvements. And again, this is something that we've talked about.
I move approval of pay application for 1 for the wastewater plant in the amount of $45,053.75.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next 2 items, obviously, Chief Shannon is not with us, nor is Nick, but again, a lot of information, if everybody read Chief's email, but next item is discussion and consideration of server and RMS upgrades. Something that's been planned in Chief's budgets the last couple of years, and looks like they're gonna break it out over fiscal year 19 and 20. Give Chief kudos, he did a lot of investigating into this and what makes sense and what doesn't. If anybody has any questions, obviously we can get back to Chief, but he's not here to answer tonight.
Yeah, I think as I was sort of looking at this, and maybe he said it someplace and I've not processed it thoroughly, but paying for storage is something that is not a good investment of money. If there's an opportunity or it's acceptable, I think we ought to look at a cloud kind of solution for our storage, perhaps. But given what we're storing, maybe that isn't appropriate, so that would be my question. What's the
Well, it
appropriate?
does say
And he
video
does,
storage
yeah.
is a.
Oh,
Yeah, the video storage is the vast
That's what that watch
majority of it.
card is.
Yeah.
Oh, see, to me, that didn't say cloud to me.
Yeah.
That said, storing my videos.
Yep.
Yeah, it does say cloud-based
Does it?
storage. Yeah, it's in
Okay.
the first
Sorry.
paragraph.
Yeah, up in
I
the,
missed it.
but-
There it is!
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
that!
Yeah.
But no, and you're absolutely right, and that's especially with the amount of video that, I mean, that's
They
gonna
have
be.
to hold on to it for basically
Yeah.
ever.
And what I did like in here, he touched on digitizing the evidence storage for better searching and retrieval and just organization, all of that kind of stuff. So maybe we can get it out of recycling bins.
We can find it again.
And, so, but yeah, kudos to Chief for what looks like a fairly hefty amount of work on this one.
Anybody else have any other questions or anything? Tom, no back your thing.
Nope.
Otherwise, entertain a motion, server and RMS upgrades.
I'd so move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and consideration of the bulldozer rental. Again, a conversation we had the last meeting. Sounds like Nick is very confident in his team in terms of being able to handle the work with the dozer. Sounds like it'll save us some money in the long run, quite honestly. So I think we're all for that, doing all the work we can in-house.
Mhm.
Has Nick, and I don't remember the conversation, did we have a time, did he give us an idea of how long he thought it would take he and his guys to do the work needed?
I don't believe
I don't recall.
Yeah, because if you notice the quote, it just says.
It's kind of open,
It's open
it's
ended.
2K a
Yeah.
week or 5,800 for the month, which if you're gonna do it, you might as well just do it for the month and call it a day,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
Because I'm guessing that road will take quite a bit of work to
Mhm.
get it up to where they can put a rock base down.
Well, not only the road, but I think he was gonna do the earth moving for that site as well.
Right.
To turn it around.
Park.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and so once they get their hands on a dozer, they're gonna find all sorts of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Why would you not, right?
You might
Exactly.
go out to the bypass.
I know, it's just be like, I don't know, there's a big pile of dirt over there, see what happens. With that, I would move approval of the bulldozer quote rental as outlined.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So maybe if you can reach out to Nick and ask him if he has a timeline in mind. to
Sure.
send over. Thank you. Last but not least, discussion and consideration of pool heater replacement equipment. This one is just frustrating, but unfortunately, or not unfortunately, there's
Just a reality.
just an unfortunate incident. There's obviously, nobody's at fault, it's just. Matthew, again, anything you need to add to this other than banging your head on the table?
No, I know that they're gonna try and order, if it's approved, we're gonna try and order one, get it on its way, get it here next week and hopefully try and install it in 2 weeks' time, so trying to act very quickly.
So do we have the heater running now or no?
We have two heaters, two separate heaters,
Okay.
one controls the shallow end, one controls the deep end.
Okay.
One of the shallow end's working,
Deep end is fried.
one
And I
of the
heard
deep end is fried.
Okay.
We're trying to
Swing
be
that
careful with
way.
the shallow end
Yeah, you
one.
don't wanna burn it out.
We don't want to
by
burn it out and have it
running
make
it
up for what
faster.
we're losing, so
Yeah.
we're being very cautious with that.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've had some sun and some warm weather to heat up the water, so,
Yeah.
but try not to
Yeah.
make it work too
No,
much.
absolutely.
And obviously, you guys, I assume Nick's team, they're gonna do a expansion to the pool house and move the chemicals and.
So we've already started that process,
Mhm.
building on the back of the pool house, and then once we get once we understand the size of the storage for the, like Nick shared with you at the last meeting, the size of the chemical storage will be a better idea of how big that area is gonna be complete. So, but we will get it away from the heater, so we won't have any issues again.
Is there anything else we can do? Because there's only a 1-year warranty on the new one, so
Yeah,
it just makes you wonder.
I thought there was an option to buy an extended warranty, but I'll double check with Nick on that, I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's just,
But it's expensive.
how old is the one that's running the
The
shower?
current, they're both 3 years old.
Okay, and that one's operating fine, correct?
Yeah, and I think honestly, I think they both would operate fine if it wasn't so close to the chemicals.
So I assume that one isn't anywhere near the chemicals or?
No, it's not, it's
Far enough away.
probably 15 yards from the chemicals, so I think there's enough dissipation, enough vent flow that it wouldn't become an issue, where it's located.
Just a tough lesson learned that we all.
Does anybody talk with like Cedar Rapids, Marion, that have outdoor facilities and what they do to maintain theirs? Or if they've had the same, how long theirs has lasted, that kind of thing?
In today's standards, you build a separate room for the chemicals, and you put it away from everything that it could be affecting.
But aside from that, has anybody talked to them about how long theirs has been?
Like the heaters, how long the
Yeah,
heaters?
how long they've been lasting for them?
Well, I used to work with City of Cedar Rapids, and that was back in, I think, 1997, 1992, when they installed some heaters in their pools, and I believe they're still functioning.
So it'd be good to see if they do anything special to the,
Well, it helps, again, they have a separate pump room, all of those are established, they have vent flow, they have an air circulation system, but they're a little larger systems than ours as well. But I can surely research that if you
Yeah.
want to get some feedback.
if they got all that background,
Yeah.
you might get some pointers from.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Marion might be a good one, they added a heater recently, I think, in that last 10, 15 years.
Okay, all right. Anybody have questions for Matt? Otherwise, thank you.
All right, thank you.
In that case, I would move approval of spending up to $16,000 on fixing this pool heater chemical situation. Replacement equipment for the heater, excuse me.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, down to the reports. Only thing I have, I think we've all already mentioned it. Our town is here this week, so it'll be a great week for our wonderful community, so. I watched a little bit of the broadcast before I came up for tonight's council meeting, but it'll be fantastic to get a whole week's worth of acknowledgement. What a great little town we have, so. Anybody else have anything, anything from council committee reports?
Probably two things. Councilperson West and I will be representing this group in a meeting with Cornell with regard to library financing in the future, with Cornell, obviously. And I was impressed with our poor laureate for the first time with the presentation on Memorial Day, how she was integrate that. And
Marianne did great.
and it was too bad it got moved indoors and all that, but she did a good job. The part of that program. And pretty,
And if you didn't get a chance to see it, it was in Sun, last week's Sun,
yeah, the whole,
in the entire transcript.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well done.
Mhm.
Obviously, Chris isn't here for his report, but he has it included in the council packet, but as we talked about, the pool house is going on, and then, Sue mentioned it earlier, the focus group. I was thinking that was for this, so Sue, if you would let us know if there is a focus group
Sure.
Wednesday for the master plan. I was thinking that's what he had, but that's for the Buster Burge marketing consultant, so.
Right, and on the 4th, so tomorrow, there's a reconstitution of a lot of the folks that spent time developing the plan for the Lester Burge Family Wellness Center to discuss a couple things. One is the name recognition for the donors, and then I think we've talked about that as a council. And then the second thing is putting together a plan to get a nonprofit designation for continuing to receive donations to benefit the corporations. We'll see where that goes, but that's kind of the high-level agenda for tomorrow.
Good. Be fantastic. Well, it was kind of a short one. I think I missed your mark by a minute or two. So, does anybody have anything else to add before we call it an evening? Nothing? All right. No further business, meeting stands adjourned. I'm guessing the 17th meeting will run a little bit longer with some of these takeaways.
Well, sooner or later,